What is up, Dong Army? It's your boy Royce. My fiance is out of the house right now, having a life and actually hanging out with people. So that means I have time to record this video for you guys. Hope you guys can appreciate, just the amount of dedication I have to my craft, which is YouTube videos. I'm really excited for this video because today is Sunday, August 28th, and tomorrow my PhD formally starts. So here I have freshly brewed Marrakesh mint tea, and the whole point of this video will be just to talk about my thoughts surrounding this big transition in my life and how I'm feeling about my PhD starting tomorrow. So where to begin? There's so much to talk about. I guess the first thing I want to talk about is what I've been up to this past summer. So I finished my clerkships and I took step 1 over the summer. It's one of the most important tests that medical students take that covers all the material of your first half of medical school. So I got that out of the way. I made some videos on step 1, my reaction to my score, and also me describing my very specific experience preparing for step 1 after clerkships. Other than that, this past summer I've just been relaxing. I've been spending a lot of time with friends, traveling, spending time with my fiance, picking up new hobbies. Well, not really picking up new hobbies, but just resuming old hobbies. And overall, I feel like my mental health has improved a lot since clerkships ended, which is probably not a surprise to you guys, just because I have a lot more time. I've been able to spend more time on myself, spend more time on doing the things I enjoy. Unfortunately, I can't say that being in the hospital, locked away in a closet, staring at a computer screen is the most enjoyable thing that I've ever experienced. So I've been able to now spend more time on things that I've enjoyed. I'm feeling a lot better. My mind is a lot clearer. There's a lot less pressure, there's a lot less stress that I feel on a day-to-day basis. So, overall right now I'm feeling pretty good. It's hard to believe that tomorrow my PhD starts. I remember when I first matriculated at Penn as an MD PhD student. So when I was a first year MD PhD student, I was about to start medical school. And we do a lot of these events where you can talk to MD PhD students across the 8 years, and I would see these third year MD PhD students starting their PhD, and I would think, wow, they must be so mature, just be so put together. They must know exactly what they're doing. They must have so much direction. But now that I'm in this position as a third year myself, I realize, they didn't deserve that level of respect. Anyone could be a third year MD PhD student once you start the program. You know what I mean? Getting into the program's hard, obviously. But once you're in, and they lay out all the steps for you to do. Take this class, then take this class, then take step 1, and then boom, you're a third year. And if you forget to take a step, they will pester you with emails. I always get this response that as an MD PhD student, I must be like super organized and on top of stuff. And that's not the case necessarily. It's just that the program is super organized and on top of stuff. And I'm just in this meat grinder that is the program and progressing along, on this conveyor belt, and they're the ones, leading me in certain directions. So, complete props to the MD PhD program for making it so organized and making us look good for it. But no, in actuality, obviously, totally kidding here, every MD PhD in this program is absolutely outstanding, you know what I mean? Hopefully including myself too. I don't know if you guys think so. And now that I'm in this position, I realize now that time has really flown by and I really have changed. Looking back on these last 2 years, reflecting on these last 2 years, I can see that all the material that we've learned, all the very serious subject matters that we touch in medical school, all the professional relationships that I've developed, all the patients that I've talked to, which I think is the biggest part. I've really grown as a person. I've really developed a lot more empathy. I've really matured in a lot of ways. Now that I'm here and those 2 years have really flown by, it just feels unreal to me that I'm in this position now. In the last few weeks after I've taken step 1, I've realized that my time is a lot more flexible now that I'm not a medical student. And that's because medical education is very structured. You're told exactly what to do, what classes to take. You take the same classes as your classmates. You have the same hospital schedule as your other classmates. You go through the same clinical rotations. And so now that I'm all done with this, and now that I've finished, the final boss that was step 1 for my first 2 years of medical school, now I can, have more freedom in the things that I do. This is definitely a luxury that I'm looking forward to as a PhD student, because for surgery clerkship, for example, I would have to get to the hospital by like 6 a.m., which is, absolutely ridiculous looking back at it now. And I would have to stay there till like 6 p.m. So it was like 12-hour days. I realize now as a PhD student, I have more freedom. I can go to happy hours whenever I want to. I can hang out with people, go, play basketball whenever I want to. It's been, really, really nice, to be honest with you. And this is definitely something I'm looking forward to in the future. You're your own person. You can finally be, the adult with, well, maybe not a full adult with real responsibilities, but at least, you feel more like an adult with more freedom. In case you guys couldn't tell, I absolutely love taking classes and taking exams, which is why, honestly, that I chose this MD PhD program in the first place. And so I'm really looking forward to this semester because I can start taking more classes, that is graduate school level classes in bioengineering. And this is a big change for medical school because although we're still taking classes in medical school, they're all pass-fail and they're all the same classes that all your other classmates take. And so this is a big change because now I have flexibility to choose whatever classes I want. So this semester I'm going to take just 2 classes, and I'm going to take a stats class. Well, when I say flexibility, it's ironic because actually the stats class I have to take as a part of my PhD. But the other class I can take is a bioengineering class. It's called something like From Biomedical Devices to the Marketplace, and it's about translating things you discover in your basic engineering lab and you translate it to the marketplace. You commercialize your product. As a future, engineering physician scientist, in my research, I'm going to be developing devices that you can wear on your body. Like electronics that are wearables, that interface with your nervous system, that interface with your eye, for example, because I'm thinking of being an ophthalmologist. And, this kind of a class will be super important for me. And so this is a big change for me because now I go from, having no choice in my classes to now being able to choose classes that I think will benefit me the most in my future career. And it's nice to have this level of agency in my education. Another thing is there's a big shift in mindset from undergraduate classes with regard to grades. So when it came to undergraduate classes, obviously you'd want to get close to a 4.0 GPA. You'd want to get A's in your classes, and that's because obviously medical school admissions are extremely competitive. Unfortunately, in graduate school now it doesn't really matter if you get A's or if you get B's. I don't think that'll have any kind of effect in residency applications. It definitely won't have any effect in professorship. When I apply to be an assistant professor, they're not going to be like, okay, so what was your GPA as a graduate student? No, that's not a thing. Unlike undergrad, the point of graduate school classes are to actually learn and retain things that you want to carry with you throughout the rest of your life, learning things that are actually valuable to your life. The next big thing I want to talk about is my research. Obviously, as a graduate student, I want to be productive in my research and to produce, results that'll eventually lead to papers and that I can put in my PhD thesis. I've already fortunately been able to pick a lab. I am working in a neuroengineering lab. We develop novel devices based on, new concepts, new physical phenomena, new, materials, work on creating these devices that interface with the nervous system that, for example, would be implanted into your brain. So this kind of research really interests me, and I'm really glad, honestly, that I came to Penn because there's a lot of collaboration. My lab is a 90-second walk from the hospital, so literally I can leave the hospital, in my scrubs, walk over to lab, which is really nice. I found a great environment that does great cutting-edge translational research, and this lab has a great track record with MD PhDs. This lab has graduated, a dozen MD PhDs in the past, and currently has 3 or 4 MD PhDs, which is kind of unheard of for a very basic engineering lab. And the track record's really good because they've all graduated within 3 to 4 years, which is music to my ears because I don't want to be in grad school forever and take 6 years to get my PhD. Yeah, in that regard, I feel really blessed to be in this position, to be at the Penn program, and more specifically in this bioengineering lab, and to be able to do such mentally stimulating research. I guess the only thing else that's on my mind is coming up with a daily schedule that works best for me, in terms of balancing classes, balancing time in the lab, balancing, me time, that is, in the gym, playing basketball, etc. And, this makes me really excited because it reminds me a lot of undergrad. Because as an undergrad, you would have classes here and there that, you could show up to, or if they were recorded, you didn't have to show up to, and you could look at the recordings later and, kind of just be your own person and have your own, schedule that you could follow. If you wanted to only study at 11 p.m. till 1 a.m. and the rest of your day you just relax and you could go have fun, then you could do that. Looking back to undergrad, which feels like, decades ago, I feel a lot of excitement because I know that graduate school will be very similar to that. Just, less classes and more research. I'm also looking forward to being able to make new friends, having a new pool of friends to choose from. It'll make up for all the social mistakes that I made in my first 2 years of medical school with my prior classmates. I have a clean slate now. I can, try my best to make new friends from here on out. So, even though I have no friends in medical school now, it's not a big deal because I get another chance. So, no, but in actuality, I try my best to maintain relationships with my prior med student friends, my med student peers, and I'm still maintaining great relationships with my MD PhD friends. Actually, after I film this video, I'm gonna go hang out with some MD PhD friends. There's a lot that's gonna happen in the next few years, but I know that, no matter what, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna try to reflect as much as I can because, I know it's gonna pass by really quickly, just like my first 2 years in medical school did, and I know I'm gonna grow a lot as a person. So I'm glad I'm gonna make videos like this to document my experience, to see my growth, and also to share my experience with you guys because I know at least some of my audience will be interested in seeing, the growth and the experiences that I have. So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to talk about in this video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.